Hello, this is Lovely Odd Pets. Welcome to my review of the Thinkway, the Little Mermaid virtual pet. This was a requested video. There's not really a whole lot of information about this pet available, and there certainly is not an in-depth video review, so here we are. When I first started up this pet, which was, I want to say about 2 weeks ago now, I actually started out getting the little fish, flounder, and then the next pet that I got was the crab, Sebastian, and the third one that I got was a jellyfish, and then this one obviously is the seahorse. On the instructions for this pet, it says that out of the 4 pets, the one that you get, the one that you hatch, is random. But after running this several times, I'm actually pretty sure that it's not random, that it actually goes in the pattern that I just said: the fish, the crab, the jellyfish, and then the seahorse. And you have to keep the pet running the entire time. You can't switch out the batteries because that'll completely erase your progress and you'll have to start from scratch. So this is my first time that I've gone all the way through to the seahorse, and it's been a lot of fun running this pet. Definitely one of my favorites. So anyway, let's jump right in. Here's my little guy. So the first icon is the food, and there's not a choice, it's just one little blob of fish food. If you overfeed him, it'll fall to the floor and it will dirty his tank quicker, so I'm trying to make sure that if you're going to feed him, that he actually needs to be fed and you're not just trying to figure out what he wants. The next icon is the sleep, and when you turn it off, you have the option of doing a slow sleep, which would be like, the full 8 hours or however many hours. I haven't actually calculated it or paid attention. And then there's the quick mode, which is like, the nap or the babysitter. I never actually used the quick one, but it would have been helpful because this pet actually has a feature which is similar to the Tamagotchi Ocean, in that a hook comes down and you have to interact with it, play games with it, or get it to work out in order for the hook to go away. So basically, if you have to leave this pet alone for a couple of hours and you don't put it to sleep, there's a good chance that that hook is going to come out and you're going to end up with a hooked pet, which is sad. But the next icon is the when he gets sick. This is probably my favorite thing, which is kind of silly about this pet, because when he gets sick, instead of just, the generic animation of a shot coming out, there's actually a cute little dolphin who swims out holding a medical bag. So that's absolutely adorable. It's like, Dr. Dolphin's here to save you. The next icon is the little faucet, and they give you 2 options for this. You can clean the tank, and you can also add water. The instructions aren't very forthcoming with how much water you need to add. It basically just says that each pet has its own preference as to how full or low you have it, and it gives one little example. It says that the jellyfish likes more water than the crab. I never really paid attention to having the water too high or too low for any of them, but the attention icon will go off if the water drops too low, if one of them doesn't like it that low. So basically the crab almost never has an attention icon go off because he doesn't mind living in hardly any water. The next icon is the game. So this pet, I should mention that they don't evolve. They don't have different stages of evolving. They have, after you hatch it from the egg, it has the first stage of being like a little worm or whatever you want to call it. And then it jumps right into like the seahorse. He looks just like that. There's no baby, child, adult, there's none of that. It's just, it goes right from the little worm to an adult. So what I was going with that was, with the game, they have one different game for when it's in a baby stage, which is just you pick if the pet's going to pick the left or the right, the icon on the left or the right, and then when it's an adult, it's like a match game. So you can set this one on the left to whichever one you want. I always just pick the shell, and then it'll cycle through, and you have to stop it on the right one. And he gets happy. And it gets a little faster the second round. Oops, I missed it. And he gets sad. And there are 5 rounds to each game. So that's the game. And the next icon is the meter, or the information. So the first one is pet, so it actually tells you, obviously the details about your pet. So I've had him for 3 days. He's 1 pound, 3 ounces. Think about that for a minute. Can you imagine a seahorse weighing a pound? I sure can't. Best record. Oh, and then you'll get to see what the jellyfish looks like, because I ran him the longest. I had him for 5 days before he got hooked. Okay, the next option is data, so that tells you all of his meters. His food is full, his happiness is full, and his health could use a little bit of a boost. The one thing that I've noticed about this pet is with the health meter, sometimes you can work them out and have them work out, and it won't fill up all the way. I did read in the instructions, it said something about just having the pet running, the health will go up every so often, but it's actually pretty rare for me with running these in the adult stages to have that health meter be full constantly. It's usually down just a little bit. Alright, so the next icon is the clock, which we don't need to worry about. It's obviously par for the course. And then the last one is the workout feature. The workout feature is so unique because each different character has their own way of working out. The fish has little rings that he swims and collects. The crab lifts weights, and the little animation that they do when you get 3 or more weights lifted, or no, his is more, I forget, because it's been like a while, a week, whatever. But he flexes his muscles, and it's really cute to watch a little crab flexing his muscles. The jellyfish jumps over a hurdle, and then the seahorse here, he picks up a little rock with his tail, which I'm going to show you. One-handed, hopefully this will go well. So you have to make him swim, then you drop him down, pick up the rock, and that's it. And you try and do it as many times as you can. And if you get like 3 or more, then they're happy. With the crab lifting weights, that one you're just hitting these 2 buttons simultaneously back and forth. It's really easy, you can get a lot. With all the other ones though, you have to make them swim, and then you have to make them, you know, do whatever with the other button. So it's not as easy to get as many rounds in. But that's pretty much it for this guy. Right now, the market for these guys is quite extensive, meaning that there's not a whole lot out there, like on eBay and auction sites, and the ones that are out there are ridiculously overpriced. But this is an absolute adorable, simple pet to run, and for me personally, this holds a lot of special value. This was the second virtual pet that I had as a child. It was given to me as a Christmas gift by my late grandmother, and as you can see, it has a couple of scratches here, and for me, this is a nostalgic pet, so I know those of you who are OCD about virtual pets are probably like, oh my gosh, get some Displex on that, but it's reminiscent of my childhood, and this was the actual virtual pet that I would carry around with me. You know, it's got some dings in her tail and whatnot, but for me, I love it just the way it is. So if you're able to snag one of these guys, I highly